The Minecraft movie is an absolute joy and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It is a film filled with non-stop fun, genuinely good humor, and a surprisingly good message that I was not expecting. And when those credits rolled, I kid you not, the entire theater was filled with applause. Now, I will make it clear, this film is not for everyone. There are plenty of people out there who didn't like it, and if you're unsure as to whether or not you should go and see it, before I spoil the movie for you, I will tell you this. If you are a Minecraft player and you enjoyed the Mario movie, you will probably enjoy this film. And I know that there's going to be a lot of Minecraft players who are going to be upset at this film for not being 100% game accurate. As a matter of fact, that's a complaint that I already see online constantly. But honestly, I think that most of the changes are justified because they work well in the movie format. Now, I want to be clear. This movie is not a masterpiece. This is not something that will make you emotional, you will not cry, and you will not become strongly attached to literally any of the characters. This is a meme movie. I mean, they cast Jack Black as Steve and made the pink sheep look like this. What did you expect? No, this movie is one gigantic joke, and it knows that it is a joke, it knows that it is cringe, it knows that it is a comedy, knows Jack Black is Steve, and runs with it. And you can tell that Jack Black is just having the time of his life in this film. If you ever wondered what Steve's character is like from Minecraft, it's just Jack Black, full throttle, cranked up to 11, and I'm here for it. I will say though, this film is extremely fast-paced. Like, it never slows down and gives you some breathing room. Oh, and just so you know, from this point on, there are going to be some spoilers for the movie. You have been warned. The movie opens up with Steve giving us the setup for the film, but after that, we get to see the rest of the characters and their starting points in the real world. And actually, it feels kinda normal paced at first. Maybe even a little slow. Like, it just felt like they spent a bit too long in the real world when the entire time I'm just sitting here going, please show us the blocks! I want to see the pink sheep and his uncanny human teeth! And do I think that the pacing of this film could have been fixed? Yeah, absolutely! There are several areas that I think could have been cut in favor of extending out certain scenes, as well as fleshing out the characters a bit more. Because as it stands, most of the characters have almost zero personality and character arcs. But what's interesting is that this movie actually shows several moments where it somewhat sets up deeper character moments, but then either barely touches on them at best or never follows through with them at worst. For example, Natalie is the older sister to Henry. They just moved into town so that she could get a job to take care of her brother since their parents died. And the movie sets up this whole thing about how she needs to protect and care for him, but they hardly ever touch on that. It really felt like it was sort of a background element or maybe a setting rather than a core part of their characters and their relationship. And I get it, parents are often killed in stories because they are inconvenient for the plot, since responsible parents tend not to allow their children to go on dangerous adventures to other realms. But for them to not only kill off the parents, but then to bring in this whole thing about Natalie needing to care for Henry, only to not do anything with it, it feels a little disappointing. And it's not like they couldn't do this either. Like, we absolutely could have gotten more screen time with her wrestling with the reality that she is now Henry's guardian. Especially if we pitch the side plot of the villager going into the human world, because that takes about 7 minutes of screen time and adds nothing to the rest of the story. It's just there for laughs, and I personally would much rather have more character depth. And speaking of character depth, let me tell you about Dawn, this very interesting character. You see, she is, get this, a real estate agent. Oh, and if that's not intriguing enough for you, she also has a mobile zoo side hustle, which is there so that they can justify her having the ability to do one thing in this movie. And that one thing is tame a very small army of about like 8 wolves. Wolves that you could remove from the story and change literally nothing. Like, all the wolves were doing was helping fight against the army of piglins, but they don't really need the wolves because they already have a much larger army of iron golems. I'm serious, Natalie and Dawn contribute so little to this film that you could have removed them entirely and hardly changed a thing. And Henry is hardly any better, though he does have a few more things going for him that tie his character in a little bit more to the plot and the message of the movie, despite the fact that personality-wise, he is the most blank slate out of all of them. Like, I legit can't remember a single line he said in the entire movie. So, Henry. He is very into art and inventing. Though when he tries to be creative, he is criticized for it and unappreciated. To be fair though, he did blow up a mascot for a potato chip brand. And this part about him feeling unappreciated when it comes to his art actually causes him to consider staying in the world of Minecraft. It's a place where he can be as creative as he wants to be, fits in, is free of responsibilities, and is appreciated for what he does. After all, he's able to look at Steve, who has managed to build a wonderful life for himself here. And just so you know, I will be spoiling the end of the film in just a bit because it is necessary in order to wrap up Henry's arc, as well as an arc for both Steve and our final character, Garbage Man Garrett. Garrett is a former video gaming champion whose glory days are behind him. His life is a mess, he's broke, and he runs a small classic game store, which he is about to get evicted from for not paying his rent. And just like Henry, he has the opportunity to stay in the overworld rather than return to the real world. But both of them choose to come back. Why? Well, it's because of the message of this movie. And the message is that they should take some of the creativity that they put into Minecraft and bring it into the real world. Did you get that? The message of the Minecraft movie is that you should play less Minecraft and use that creativity that you put into the game to make the real world a better place to live in. And if the world beats you down and says you're embarrassing yourself, keep going. Keep improving yourself and your situation instead of hiding in a video game where it doesn't really have any real world impact. And this message resonated with Steve so well that he left the overworld in favor of the real world. Despite the fact that right before doing this, he actually said that he wanted to stay in there because he had a lot of cool things he wanted to build. Honestly, that is the most relatable part of this movie. And of course, neither I nor the movie is trying to tell you that video games are bad and a waste of time, but that maybe instead of using video games to escape life at every possible point you can, maybe take some time to improve your situation and make the world a place you don't want to escape from. Garrett, for example, does this in the movie and manages to recover from his situation and actually starts running a successful business. And look, I know that I brought up a lot of negatives about this film, but that's because while I did enjoy it, it does objectively have a lot of flaws. But like I said earlier, it's a meme movie. And I think the reason I see so many people hating on this movie is because for some reason, we've just collectively decided that it needs to be the next Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, when that's not what the movie is going for. That's like judging Pride and Prejudice on how much of an action thriller it is. This was never meant to be the best movie ever. It was meant to be a goofy time where you can sit down and laugh as Jack Black and Jason Momoa have a bromance. Yes, the CGI at times looks uncanny and the villagers even look disgusting. But that's the point. No, it's not a perfect movie. It's got several loose plot threads that don't lead to anything, and it's certainly not for everyone. I think that's evident by the critics' score on Rotten Tomatoes. I see people flashing everywhere to prove to you just how bad it is. But if you ask me, there are really only two kinds of movies Rotten Tomato critics ever give high scores, and those are 1. Perfect movies, and 2. Terrible movies, with no in between. But if you want to know just how fun this movie actually is, I think the audience score says it all. Oh, also, I just realized I forgot to talk about the villain. She's all right.